The Abandoned Village, Part 2, Eternal Horror. The Whispering Shadows. Emily sat motionless. The room pulsed as if it were alive. The shadows along the walls twisted, not just shapes, but faces, hundreds of them. Their mouths moved, whispering her name over and over, their voices getting louder, more frantic. Then, one of the shadows detached itself. It slithered across the floor like black smoke, crawling onto her lap. It had fingers. Cold, bony fingers that traced her cheek as a voice rasped, "You don't belong to yourself anymore." Emily stumbled into the bathroom, but her reflection in the mirror was wrong. Her face was melting, skin sagging, eyes sunken, teeth rotting inside a gaping mouth. Then, her reflection screamed. The sound was like nails on glass, deafening. The mirror shattered, but the reflection's pieces still moved, crawling up the walls, forming grotesque faces that moaned in agony. Then, something stepped out of the mirror. It looked like Emily, but its flesh was half decayed, writhing with worms. She ran into the bedroom, panting. The bed looked normal, but then, the sheets moved. Slowly, a hand emerged, not just one, but dozens. Rotting, skeletal hands with blackened nails crawled over the bed, their fingers stretching toward her, pulling at the blankets, the pillows, then the floor beneath her split open. From the dark void beneath the bed, a gaping mouth opened, filled with hands, all clawing at the air, desperate to pull her in. The hallway was lined with old portraits, their eyes following her. She tried to ignore them, but then, they started decaying. The flesh on the faces peeled away, revealing rotting skulls with hollow eyes. One of them blinked, and then, suddenly, a hand burst out from the painting, clawing at her arm, trying to drag her in. The figures inside the frames began screaming, their voices shrill and tormented. One whispered, "We are trapped, and now, so are you." Emily tried to flee down the staircase, but she never reached the bottom. The steps twisted in impossible ways, leading her back to the top. And then, she saw herself. Her own body stood at the bottom of the stairs, but its head was twisted completely backward, and its mouth was moving, whispering things she couldn't hear. It smiled. Then, it started running up the stairs toward her, on all fours. She slammed the door shut behind her and found herself in a nursery. Dolls sat on the shelves, their eyes moving, their lips parting as if to speak. Then, small feet pitter-pattered across the floor. A group of children stood in the shadows, their faces obscured. Slowly, they stepped into the light, their eyes were sewn shut, their mouths stitched into grotesque smiles. One of them whispered, "Play with us, forever." Emily burst outside, but the village was gone. In its place, a thick white fog swallowed everything. Shapes moved in the mist. Twisted figures, their arms too long, their heads cocked at unnatural angles. They whispered, but their voices were backward. Then, hands shot out of the fog, grabbing her, pulling her into the mist. She screamed, but no sound came out. The Church of the Damned. A bell tolled from a nearby church. Emily stumbled inside. The pews were filled with people, or what used to be people. Their skin was gray, peeling, their heads hanging unnaturally. The priest at the altar lifted his head. His face was missing, only a gaping, black hole remained where his mouth should be. Then, everyone turned toward her at once. In the village square, there was a door standing alone. It pulsed as if it were breathing. She heard her own voice whisper from the other side, "Open it." The wood split apart, revealing an endless abyss of screaming faces, people trapped in eternal torment, their arms reaching out. Then, something pulled her in. Emily woke up. She was in the village, but it was different. There were people now, walking around. But their faces, they were blurry, shifting, wrong. She tried to speak, but no sound came out. She turned toward a shop window, and saw her own reflection. She was one of them now. A part of the village. Forever.